Welcome, ladies and gents, to this video. We're going to be having a casual conversation about the state of Disney in 2023 and their recent performance in recent years. So, guys, if you are new around here, consider hitting that subscribe button and being a subscriber and staying up to date with all things movie news. But with that, guys, let's jump into this. So, Disney fails in 2023, drops out of the billion-dollar club, Marvel in the gutter along with Pixar and Disney films, and no Star Wars. Yeah, this is kind of crazy, guys. You remember Disney used to be this kind of juggernaut of entertainment when it come to Pixar, when it come to Disney Plus, Star Wars, and Marvel. They were on the top. They just went on to make billions after billions after billions of dollars. They could do no wrong. But guys, in recent years, it's really not been good for Disney. You know, people have just fallen off the Disney bandwagon. You know, Pixar's in the gutter. Their Disney Plus series aren't so hot. Star Wars has been completely absent, for a while now. And Marvel, well, the Marvel's movie, it speaks for itself with its recent performance falling flat on its face. But let's continue to read and see what we can learn about, the performance of Disney and see what's going on. So, for the first time in decades, Disney has failed to hit that magic billion-dollar number at the box office. Disney failed to have a movie reach $1 billion in 2023, which is the first time since 2014, not counting the pandemic years of 2020 and 2021. Both Marvel and Pixar failed to deliver. Star Wars didn't even show up, and Disney movies also failed to move the needle. Guys, we have to remember when we're talking about, movies and studios making $1 billion, I know that we're used to talking about, Marvel films and Star Wars films making $1 billion and it being a normal thing. Making $1 billion for a film is not a normal thing. I believe that there's only sort of 50 to 60 films in the entire history of Hollywood that have made $1 billion. $1 billion at the box office is a huge number, and millions of films and filmmakers would love to achieve that number, guys. It is a milestone number. I know that we talk about it in terms of it being normal, but it is not normal. Guys, hitting $1 billion with a film is astronomically hard. And we just have to bear that in mind when we're talking about these huge numbers at the box office. But yeah, along with this, Star Wars didn't even show up. Star Wars has been absent since 2019, and I think that, I think Disney are afraid to put out, a Star Wars movie for, for fear of failure, like they did with, The Rise of Skywalker. If they go ahead and put out another Star Wars film and it gets, torn to shreds like the Rise of Skywalker and The Last Jedi did, then I think Star Wars is going to be done for the next 10 years at least. The last movie was such a divisive movie amongst the fan base, and the toxic kind of fan base reared its ugly head, and actresses and actors were kind of targeted on social media, and all of this really bad stuff just happened. So I think they're actually afraid to put out a new Star Wars movie for fear of the same thing happening again. So Marvel has been dry for 2 years. Marvel has failed to deliver that $1 billion for 2 years in a row. But like I say, bear in mind, $1 billion is an astronomically hard thing to achieve at the box office. It's not a normal amount for a movie to make. So bear that in mind, guys. While the MCU is normally a big cash cow, absolutely, Marvel has misfired and suffered massive casualties with the 2023 releases of Antman, the Wasp, Quantomania. I thought that movie was okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably give it a 5 or a 6. It's an average Marvel film. Like, if I had to rank it in the overall Marvel films, like ranking of all the films, it would be somewhere in the middle, average, just over average maybe. Only because it's got Paul Rudd in it, and I love Paul Rudd as Ant-Man. That guy is so charming. I really love Ant-Man. He's such a great character. Even the worst performing sequel to the $1 billion Captain Marvel movie, The Marvels, which lost Disney likely north of $200 million. When you put that into perspective, how bad The Marvels did, how much money it lost, and the reasons behind it, there's so many different reasons. The fact that, they've alienated their fan base to such a degree now that they're just fed up with these generic, bland, kind of boring, run-of-the-mill Marvel films. After we've got, the Infinity Saga, to go from that to watching the Marvels, a 16-year-old fan, a 16-year-old girl with magical powers, Miss Marvel, who fanned girls over Captain Marvel. The majority of the audience don't want to see that. They don't care about that. They want more grounded, gritty, mature, realistic take on their superheroes. And the fact that it lost 200 million is just goes to, just speaks volumes as to what Marvel is doing. So in 2022, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness also missed the magical $1 billion number, which was thought to be an easy thing to do following the $1 billion success of Spider-Man No Way Home. That nearly made $2 billion. That was insane. But DS2, oh, Doctor Strange 2, but Doctor Strange 2 turned out to be a disappointment and failed to reach $1 billion. Again, guys, keep it into perspective. $1 billion is a massively astronomical number to hit. Even if a movie makes, you know, if something makes 600, 700, 800 million, that's a massive success, you know, in the eyes of the entertainment industry. It's just that we're so used to talking about that $1 billion figure that we think that, you know, if a Marvel film fails to reach $1 billion, then it's a failure. But that's not the case whatsoever. You know, 600, 700, 800 billion, 800 million, sorry. These numbers are massive, and they are a success by any metric when it comes to the box office. So $1 billion, yeah, it sucks, but it's not the biggest failure in the world at all by any means. Doctor Strange 2, again, I really liked that movie. I thought it was quite fun. It was a little bit messy in some places, but the whole Wanda turning evil thing, I think it was really fun. Star Wars is missing in action. So Star Wars is even worse, as Star Wars is not even on the table. A new Star Wars movie hasn't been released since 2019, and no new Star Wars movie has been in active development going on 6 years since The Rise of Skywalker started filming in 2018. Like I said at the beginning, guys, I think that they're scared to put out a new Star Wars movie of fear of, you know, failing like they did with The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. If they bring out another Star Wars movie, I'm just going to reiterate this point that I said before. If they bring out another Star Wars feature-length movie, and it craps to bed like The Rise of Skywalker did, and it's that divisive amongst the fan base, then I think Star Wars is going to be done. They're going to, that property is going to be in the gutter for at least the next 5 to 10 years. They would have to take a massive long break if they crap the bed again. And especially with what they've done on Disney Plus as well. You know, the Book of Boba Fett, crap the bed. You know, the last season of The Mandalorian, that was crap. You know, so Star Wars is in a really precarious state right now. And as I say, if they bring out another feature-length movie and it craps the bed, then this franchise is done for at least the next 5 to 10 years, as I keep saying. Pixar light not shining so bright. How about Pixar? Disney's animated studio has seen success since the release of... since the release of Toy Story 4 in 2019. I still haven't seen that yet. I need to see that. Which made $1 billion. Onward and Lightyear, all big bombs. Yeah, I heard Lightyear's really, really bad. Elemental was the only Pixar flick released by Disney in 2023. I went and saw Elemental. I thought it was really charming. I really loved it. The kind of analogy of like immigrants and how they, you know, moved to another country to set up a new life, and how people, you know, saw them as different, and how different people from different backgrounds can come together. And like, I thought it was really charming, really good. Guys, if you have not seen Elemental, make sure you jump on it, because it's such a fun, charming movie. It really is. It started off slow, but at least it had decent legs, but nowhere near Toy Story numbers, coming in under $500 million. Again, guys, even if it scored, you know, $500 million to $400 million, in the eyes of, you know, a lot of studios, that would be a massive success. But I'm not really sure what the budget for this movie was. It was probably somewhere to 150 million. So I'm not sure if it actually went on to make a profit. If it did, it was very small at that. So Disney films flop big time. Absolutely, guys. They're losing so much money at the moment. What about Disney movies in 2023? Massive flops. So The Little Mermaid was released in 2023 and brought in 569 million. That's not bad, right? Yeah, no, that's not bad by any means. Making over 550 million, that's a huge number. It's reported that The Little Mermaid needed to bring in 625 million to break even. Again, this is an age-old story of Disney, you know, spending way too much on their production budgets. They're spending, you know, 200-300 million, and then in order to make a profit, they have to, you know, they have to make 650 million, you know, on the they have to make that at the box office in order to even break even, which is ridiculous. And then we got a movie like Godzilla Minus One that spent 15 to 20 million on its budget, and it's gone on to make ridiculous amounts of money. And yeah, it's just Disney's fault for spending way too much money on these movies. Likewise, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, that was an awful movie. I've literally forgot about half of that film and what happened in it because it was just so bad. 400 million, didn't even make its budget back. The film bombed hard and lost Disney money, bringing in only 384 million worldwide. Haunted Mansion, that flopped. Haunted Mansion budget was 150 million plus marketing. The flick only brought in 117 million. Why they thought that that would make loads of money, that movie, is beyond me. Wish is another massive flop, bombing big time over Thanksgiving. The flick cost well over 200 million, but only brought in 127 million. Guys, all of these movies bombing. You got Indiana Jones, we've got Haunted Mansion, we've got Wish, we've got The Little Mermaid, just on and on and on. They're just losing so much money. If they continue at this rate, I have no idea how, Disney is going to sustain these losses. It's just unbelievable. It's like, dropping money into a meat grinder. They might as well just sort of like grind their money away at this point. So what about 2024? So Marvel, it looks as though Deadpool 3 will be the only Disney movie to possibly hit the $1 billion number at the box office. I would say, if I had to give it a percentage at this moment, I would say probably there's going to be a 75 to 90% chance, that it's going to reach $1 billion. We've got Deadpool, we've got X-Men potentially showing up, we've got Wolverine, Hugh Jackman back as Wolverine. And, the Deadpool character is so popular. It's got everything going for it, but the comic book genre, let me start that again. But the superhero genre, when it comes to box office, is in a massive decline at the moment. I think superhero fatigue is definitely a major factor. People are kind of getting a little bit bored and a little bit fatigued when it comes to superhero movies. Them all kind of being the same, a bit generic. So I think that's going to play into it. But I would say it's likely going to come around. If it makes anywhere from 6 to 800 million, then that would be a massive success in my eyes, I think. Disney can fail to hit the billion for 3 years in a row. No other Marvel movies are getting released in 2024 as they have been pushed back to 2025 and beyond. Yeah, obviously everybody knows that Marvel has gone back to the drawing board with a lot of their content now. They're retooling, rewriting, reshooting a lot of their stuff, and they're very worried that it's going to bomb hard, so they've had to go back and kind of retool a lot of their stuff, especially after what happened with the Marvels. Again, no Star Wars movie will be released in 2025. Pixar, Inside Out 2 gets released next year. However, it has nearly been a decade since the first one, which didn't hit $1 billion itself. Disney films, maybe one could hit $1 billion, but there isn't much to offer. Releases include The First Omen. Hopefully they learned their lesson from The Exorcist, the beginning. Yeah, that movie was like one of the biggest disappointments of the year for me, man. I was so looking forward to that, and it was such a letdown. And Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, that looks amazing. I'm really looking forward to that movie. Sounds like Marvel approach to the Apes franchise from Fox Studios, but no way will they hit $1 billion. The one that could possibly do it is Mufasa, The Lion King. Yeah, that's huge, that franchise. The prequel to The Lion King in 2019, which made massive money. However, it doesn't have Jon Favreau, Donald Glover, or Chiwetel Ejiofor. Will audiences show up? I think, guys, that is a pertinent question to finish this article on. Will audiences show up? I mean, that's going to be the biggest question going forward for any Disney-related material in the future. Guys, a thing that's always fun to do, which you can do, right? If you're a huge film fan, right? Whenever a huge Disney movie is coming out, right? Just open up the seating plan for your nearest theater and look at the seating plan for opening night to a Disney movie, whatever it may be, whether it's animated, whether it's Marvel, whether it's Pixar, whatever it is. Just open up the seating plan yourself and have a look and see how fully booked up the primetime screenings are. It's always interesting to see how empty or how full the screenings are. And that's kind of a little kind of experiment you can do yourself. And it's just fun to see how fully booked up these movies are. And then you can get a kind of an inkling as to how popular they are and potentially how much money they may go on to make. But anyway, guys, with that down, this has just been kind of a small kind of look into what's happening with Disney recently in recent years and where Disney could potentially be going in the future. At the moment, it's just Disney failing across the board. Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, Disney Plus shows. And it goes on and on and on as to how much money they're losing. But guys, jump into the comment section. Let me know what you think about this. What do you think about Disney losing all this money when it comes to their movies, animated and live action? What do you think the reasons are? And, have you fallen off the Disney hype train in recent years? Have you kind of become less impressed with the content they're putting out? Whether it's Marvel, whether it's Star Wars, whether it's Pixar? Let me know your thoughts, comments, and opinions down in the comment section, guys. I can't wait to see what you have to say. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon.